Hello friends, TechManPat here. Today we're looking at the Spark7, and I'm just going to say it up front so we don't waste time later. This is a Creality printer wearing a fake mustache. Like seriously, new name, new brand, bit of marketing spin, but underneath it's still Creality. Same DNA, same support, same everything. It's like when you hear from a company, we've rebranded, but it's just the same people in a different hoodie. Now, to be fair, I actually get why they've done this. The thing, it's clearly aimed at a different audience. It's not trying to look like a workshop machine. It's trying to be a living room printer, something you don't feel embarrassed about having next to your TV. And honestly, yeah, it kind of pulls it off. It looks really nice. This is your everyday 3D printer, just dressed up a bit nicer. So let's get started by rolling the intro. Big thanks to Creality for sending this one for review. First up, setup. This is probably the most already built printer I've ever seen at this level. Like, you can take it out of the box, do a couple of steps, and you're basically there. Literally 4 screws, and 2 of them are located right next to each other. So it's not a full IKEA experience. You power it on, it walks you through the setup, runs calibrations, levels the bed, and you're printing. This is exactly what beginners actually need. No messing around, no rituals, just get going. First thing you notice is the design. It actually looks like a finished product, not a premium one, don't get me wrong. This is still very much a budget machine, but it doesn't scream garage project. You guys let me know what you guys think. It's on right now. Is it coming through the microphone? And then of course, RGB, because nothing says precision manufacturing like gamer lighting. But I'll be honest, it's actually useful. It shows the progress of a print, which in a roundabout way, you don't need to tap the screen to see where it's at. Now, the one I have here is the 4-color CFS light unit. And yeah, being able to print in multiple colors out of the box at this level is genuinely impressive. It adds that wow factor straight away. Just keep in mind, this is still a single nozzle system, so it's swapping filament, not printing colors simultaneously, which means, well, waste. You'll get a quick swap hot end, which is really nice, but realistically, I don't think most people are going to use this anyway at this level. It's one of those things that it's great to have, but probably not something we're touching every week. And the way it's built and the way you can pull it out kind of sounds like everyday removal. And yeah, belt-driven bed. It's a heated bed though, and that's pretty good too. Nothing groundbreaking, just the usual setup done reasonably well. This is a classic bed slinger. So the bed moves back and forth. As you can see, the tool head moves side to side and up and down. Nothing fancy like a Core XY, just simple, proven, and really reliable. And honestly, for most people, that's exactly what you want and need. So on paper, it's fast, like very fast in its category, and in real use, yeah, it holds up pretty well. I mean, not the exact marketing numbers, but you're gonna get really good speed. Direct drive extrusion is an absolute massive win here. Better control, better with flexible filaments. Just generally easier to work with. Now the build volume is pretty solid, big enough for most things you actually want to print, and probably stuff that you don't need. Now the PEI plate is fantastic. You flex it, pops the print off, done. No scraping at all, though it does come with a very sharp scraper. So yeah, from a day-to-day print perspective, this thing absolutely works like a dream. Every first layer is smooth like butter, and every print starts. I've had more problems with Core XY printers than I've ever had with these ones. Now, let's get into the part everybody kind of cares about. You want to know what's bad, and there are some things you need to know. First up, the AI stuff. Creality is pushing this hard. Spaghetti detection, smart monitoring, all of that. And I've seen it in other printers, and in reality, it's not like magic. It works sometimes, doesn't work other times, and it's definitely not something I'd rely on to save a failed print. Now, I had that happen before on another type of Creality printer and did catch the issue, but then on another one, it didn't because the spaghetti wasn't big enough just yet. So treat it as a bonus feature. Next, the CFS light system. And look, it's absolutely good for the price, and it's called light, well, for a reason. It doesn't actively manage spool tension properly, so you can get a bit of slack when it's swapping out, and as you can see here, the white one's already slacked. It's not always a problem, but it's something to be aware of because, again, when you add a CFS, you're adding 4 times the amount of potential problems that could happen. Now the big one with multicolor printing. Waste. Basically, you're going to get purge towers, and you're probably going to end up with a pile of plastic next to your printer. That's just how these systems work. Now, they've improved, sure, but they haven't solved it yet. This thing uses belts for motion, and they're actually manually tensioned, which means that if things aren't dialed in properly, you can get a little bit of layer shift over time. It doesn't happen the first 6 months, but over time it will. And that's the one of the most frustrating things for beginners. Everything's going fine, then suddenly printer's offset, ruined. And you're sitting there wondering what happened midway. Did I bump it? So yeah, this is still a printer that needs a little bit of maintenance and understanding. And lastly, it's an open frame, as you can see. This is not an enclosed printer for cost savings reasons. So if you're thinking ABS, ASA engineering material, not really the right tool for the job. This is a PLA, PETG, TPU territory, basically everyday materials, and that's fine, just know what you're buying. That brings me to my final thoughts. The Spark7 is basically Creality trying to make a printer that feels less like a hobby machine and more like an appliance. And in a lot of ways, they've actually done a pretty good job because the prints that come out are great. So it's easy to set up, easy to use, looks decent in a home even with the initial box to the side, and it delivers solid everyday printing performance. But it still has that Creality DNA, and love or hate them, the desktop app is just frustrating. They've put buttons in the weirdest places, and unless you've used it a lot, you're gonna get a bit lost. Overall, it means a few quirks, a bit of tinkering, and on the occasion, the why did it do that moment. So for most people, if you see this on sale, I think you're gonna get a really fun experience printing multi-color products. If you want a really well-priced printer with some great capability and speeds, and something that works out of the box quickly, this 3D printer by itself is a great option. But what I suggest is actually printing one color at a time in products so you don't have to reload each of them. That is a very practical way to do it, and it creates less waste and less headaches. Big thanks to Creality for sending this for review. Make sure to like and subscribe, links below where you can grab it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!